Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The search for MH370 continues. Our efforts are now focused in the southern Indian Ocean, where a multinational team led by Australia is combing the waters trying to find debris from the flight. Our determination to find MH370 remains steadfast. As we have said all along, we will never give up trying to find the plane. In order to bring closure for the families and to establish exactly what happened to MH370. Australia, China, and France have already released satellite images showing objects that may be related to MH370. Yesterday, on the 25th of March, the Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency, MRSA, received new satellite images from Airbus Defence and Space, which is based in France, and these images were taken on the 23rd of March. MRSA analyzed the images, and in one area of the ocean measuring some 400 square kilometers, were able to identify 122 potential objects. Some objects were a meter in length, others were as much as 23 meters in length. Some of the objects appeared to be bright, possibly indicating solid material. The objects were located approximately 2,557 kilometers from Perth. We will issue a handout showing their location after this press conference. MRSA's findings were immediately forwarded to the Australian Rescue Coordination Centre in Perth yesterday. It must be emphasized that we cannot tell whether the potential objects are from MH370. Nevertheless, this is another new lead that will help direct the search operation. We have now had 4 separate satellite leads from Australia, from China, and France, showing possible debris. It is now imperative that we link the debris to MH370. This will enable us to further reduce the search area and locate more debris from the plane. Australia is leading the search effort in the southern Indian Ocean, based out of Perth. Malaysia continues to play a coordinating role. All countries involved are displaying unprecedented levels of cooperation that has not changed. Australia has divided the search area into 2 sectors, the east and the west. Today the weather has improved, and 12 planes will travel to the search area, 6 in the east sector and 6 in the west. In the east sector, searches will be conducted by 1 Australian P-3 Orion and 3 Australian civilian aircraft, 1 Chinese Illusion IL-76 and 1 New Zealand P-3 Orion. In the western sector, searches will be conducted by 1 US P-8 Poseidon, 1 Korean P-3 Orion, 1 Japanese P-3 Orion, 2 Australian P-3 Orions, and 1 civilian aircraft. 2 ships will also join the search operations. Yesterday, HMAS Success was redeployed to the south of the search area due to bad weather. Today, the ship has returned and will support the search operations in the west sector. Meanwhile, the Chinese ship Zulong has today been deployed to the east sector. A Japanese Coast Guard Gulfstream aircraft left Subang this morning for Perth to join the search operation. As I mentioned yesterday, the search operations in the northern corridor and in the northern part of the southern corridor have been called off. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has sent diplomatic notes to all relevant countries to formally inform them of this change. Before I continue, I would like to convey our appreciation to the Australian authorities, and in particular to Prime Minister Tony Abbott, for making such an extraordinary contribution to this search operation. Chinese Special Envoy. Today, the Prime Minister met with Excellency Zhang Yexui, the Chinese Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and also the Special Envoy of the Government of China. I also met with His Excellency this afternoon. During our conversation, His Excellency conveyed China's commitment to continue and intensify the search operation in any way possible and to deploy any assets that may be required. Malaysia has provided His Excellency and his delegation with a full update on the latest information from MRSA. His Excellency and his delegation also received a comprehensive briefing from the international technical team. As I mentioned yesterday, based on the new information provided by MRSA, we have established an international working group. The agencies involved in this working group include INMASAT, AAIB, the Chinese CAAC and AAID, NTSB, FAA, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce, as well as the relevant Malaysian authorities. The role of the working group is to help try and refine the INMASAT data and, if possible, more accurately determine the final position of MH370. I should like to note that the CEO of Malindo Airlines, Chandra Ramamurthy, has joined me on stage today, and he will be able to answer any questions that you might have. And as announced yesterday, MAS is now taking a lead in communicating with the families and is conducting their own press conferences. MAS will hold another press conference tomorrow regarding that. New satellite images continue to provide clues in the search for MH370, ladies and gentlemen. And with improved weather conditions, aircraft are now able to investigate objects of interest. I would like to thank once again our international partners, and once again for their continued support and assistance. The search for MH370 and the investigation into what happened on board the flight is now a truly international effort. Thank you. I can show you the visuals which I'll be distributing to you. And these are the visual images. As you can see, it was an incredible feat because it was covered all by cloud. There were pockets in the clouds that we identified, and the white dots were the debris. This debris were then calculated, and the size of the debris and the latitude and the longitude of it has also been identified. It is not very far from the object cited by the Chinese government, which was over here, and the Australian government, which is over there. So this is still the most credible lead that we have. And I've been consistent in the past that if we can use all the satellite technology that's available, the radar that is available, the assets that we can deploy to this area, which now seems to corroborate some form of objects and debris, and if it is confirmed to be MH370, at least then we can move on to the next phase of deep sea surveillance, search, and rescue, probably. Hoping against hope. So, bruising, I think, is a bit too harsh because this is unprecedented. Anybody has gone through this, what we have gone through in the 17 days, have indicated to me that we have done quite an admirable job. Not many countries in the world could get 26 countries to work together. Not many countries can get all the most sophisticated planes from countries from every corner of the world to come and assist. And I've indicated from the past that in a world that's full of divide, of hate, of death, what we see a joint effort from all sectors of the community, notwithstanding the color of your skin, your race, your religion. Boundaries do not become a concern. In an area in Southeast Asia where we were fighting over rocks in the middle of the sea, now working together, I think that is a great achievement. So no, I do not see it as a bruising. Of course, as we go through it today, when there is no conclusion to it, when we have not found the debris and we have not linked any debris to MH370, speculation will go on and people will look to Malaysia. But I think history will judge us well. That question must be broken up into four aspects. Firstly, if you want to triangulate that arrow and narrow it further, when you're talking about satellite data, not only in MRSA, but we have brought in AAIB, that was announced earlier, and then you've got the Chinese CAAC and AAID, NTSB, FAA, Boeing, and Rolls-Royce, who are now sitting down and trying to do exactly what you've been asking, relating to satellite information. Then we've got radar information that needs to be analyzed. That is military and also civil, and we've been doing that from day one. Thirdly, which is happening right now, is the deployment of the assets in the air and on the sea. And the more vessels that are deployed in those areas, we can narrow it further. And the fourth limb, like I said, is to increase the number of experts that can come on board. So it's been a natural progression from the beginning. We have narrowed the area, we have identified what we need to do, and we also are now looking ahead in the event that we do find debris, what is our next step? In the event that we do find a black box, what do we do? These are all being taken into consideration right now. I'm very thankful to MAS to have a separate initiative and separate press conferences. Personally, it's very difficult for me because I am a father, I'm a brother, and I know what they're going through. And until we find the debris and we confirm that debris belongs to MH370, that very question that they are asking, we cannot provide. But what we can do, and this is what probably MAS will be informing you all tomorrow, is that we are going to continue to engage. Time will heal emotions that are running high. We fully understand, but for the Chinese families there, they must also understand that we in Malaysia have also lost loved ones. There are so many other nations that have lost loved ones. I've seen some images coming from Australia, very rational, understand that this is a global effort, not blaming directly on Malaysia because we are coordinating something that is unprecedented. So this will be relayed to media tomorrow by MAS, and I believe they will have more information from the high-level team that has been sent by the Prime Minister to Beijing after coming back to KL only for a day, and they left last night. There will be more information about that tomorrow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, with that we conclude the session for today. Thank you very much.
Kedutaan kita, saya dimaklumkan berada dalam keadaan yang terkawal dan perkembangan berhubung kait dengan tindakan-tindakan segelintir mereka yang terlibat ini, saya telah pun maklumkan kepada delegasi daripada China yang diketuai oleh envoy yang juga telah berjumpa dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri. Ini akan ditangani bersama negara China dan negara kita.